rest there as it was meant to rest. Therefore, in Sahaj Marg, we don't speak of sin. We don't have the 10 commandments. As Babuji said, they speak of what you should not do. Our maxims only speak of what you must do to get back there. Knock and it shall be opened unto thee is the final. I am at my Father's door. It is unfortunate, that both in the Judaic and the Christian systems, especially in the past, in the Old Testament, you have all these things, knock and it shall be opened unto thee. My master said, my house has no doors. Anybody who wishes can walk in. But Babuji, don't you think that gives freedom to go out also? He said, yes, a soul must be free to choose. And remember, if you lock yourself in out of fear, you are locking the world out, which is full of potentials for your growth, full of obstacles which can make you stronger, full of experiences which you have to gather before you know this is not my world. And then like Christ you can say, my kingdom is not of this world. Not till then. So the world has to teach us. You see, once I find myself in this, like a prisoner, as Babu says, who is in prison, all his ideas, thoughts, aspirations are how to get out of this place. He plans, he tries to bribe the jailers, he tries to bribe the jail superintendent, he tries to dig holes through the walls. But somehow I must go. That is the state of the soul in our bodies. It is struggling to go, you see. But unfortunately, this ego says, like a dog, quiet soul. Down. Yes, good boy. So we, the egotistic self, minuscule S, treats the majuscule S self as a dog, when it should be G-O-D. Therefore, Babuji said, D-O-G reverse becomes G-O-D. See? You understand?
Yes.
Now what do we understand? Now I must awaken that dog and like a blind man, take its leash and say, Fido, take me to him, and it will do it. So I must blind myself to this world. I don't have to become blind. How do I become blind to this world? By thinking of him all the time. Then I walk through, I don't notice whether this is hell or heaven, whether there's beauty or ugliness, whether there's excreta or food, whether it's cold or hot. I go serenely on. The dog, having become God, is now my master guiding me along. And I reach the destination fearlessly, effortlessly, timelessly. I remember my preceptor here, Mr. Veeraravan, in the old days. Babuji told him once, he must have sensed something, lack of faith in him perhaps, or lack of confidence in himself. He told Mr. Veeraravan, tie me up like a dog to your gate and I will protect you all your life. For a master to say, since you cannot accept me as a master, as God, take me as a dog and tie me there. I will serve you, at least as a dog will say. So the master is there to serve. If not as God, at least as dog. So what must be the humility of that man who can say such a thing to a mere abhyasi who was made a preceptor by him? People should weep when they hear such things. But this tradition of the Guru, which again you find reflected in Christ's life, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. They are stupid, they are foolish. They are like children, playing with fire. Don't punish them. But this is all beyond them. They don't know what they are doing. It's like a child catching hold of a fly and tearing its wings apart and laughing. See? Please forgive them, Lord. Take my life. So he was crucified. So you see, the spiritual tradition is full of suffering. Now when Babuji started talking of suffering to the first Europeans who started coming, suffering, we have a lot of it, Babuji. He said, I am telling you, you have not even known what is suffering. What have you suffered? You wanted pizza and you got an egg. No? And you wanted a big cake and you got just a small ice cream. And you wanted a double mattress or a double bed, but you got only a single mattress or a single bed. This is your suffering? It is like one of those abhyasis who came weeping, and fell at Babuji's feet and he said, oh, I have suffered loss, Babuji, last year. And Babuji was quite, moved. He said, I pray for you. Then he told me, Parthasarthi, ask him, console him, find out what happened really. So I went with the man, gave him a cup of tea and a samosa, and then said, what happened last year? He said, brother, you are a very sympathetic man. Nobody else asks me. Previous year I made 9 crores profit. Last year I made only 5. I have lost 4 crores in profit. And this he called a loss. It's like a man who says, yesterday I had prime steak. Today I have only 1 egg boiled. We don't thank God for what we have received. We thank the Lord for what Thou hast given us today. This is the Christian prayer. And here is a man who, instead of making 9 crores, made 5 crores. 5 crores is little more than $1 million. And he was weeping. So what should we think? That he is stupid? He was not stupid. That he was a fool? No doubt. That he was a hypocrite? Surely. That he didn't know profit from loss? What would he have? Because when we try to fool ourselves and worse to fool the master into showing a reduced profit as a loss, surely nature will bless us with that which we want loss. And it is not surprising that he went into loss for the next 7 years, year after year, real loss. And he had to wind up his company. So when we tell lies to God, we have a tradition in South India that there is a divinity which says, so be it, so be it, so be it, so be it all the time. No, I want to die, so be it. I want to live forever, so be it. It doesn't know anything else. It's like, like the, what fever birds of Africa. What do they call them? They make a noise all the time. Brain fever birds.
I don't know this.
It drives you crazy. There was one with one movie showing this. Kilimanjaro, I think it was called. So we must always be truthful. Babuji, I lost 4 crores. Not lost, Babuji, but my profit has fallen. He will say, don't give me any donation this year. 5 crores, but no. 100 rupees check, no, please. I don't want you to add to your loss of profit. No problem. Look at that, how we treat the world, how we treat luck. Because when you turn away from luck, there comes the opposite of luck. This is our tradition, you see. When you deny Lakshmi, the opposite of Lakshmi we call in South India and Tamil, Moodevi. See? She comes, because the place cannot be, there can be no vacuum in nature. You send out the good, bad replaces it. You send out good thoughts from your heart, bad thoughts come into it. There is no via media, there is no time when the heart is vacant, because then God would come into it. See? So we don't even give God that time to come in by keeping our hearts empty. There's a continuous procession through our hearts. Therefore, Babuji said, we have made our hearts a caravan, you see. Caravanserai. It's like a station in the desert through which caravan after caravan passes, halt the night, keep moving. Caravanserai. So this is what our hearts have become. Love after love, lover after lover, disappointment after disappointment, gloating over so-called success. After gloating after success, another gloating over success, then a tragedy, then a transient romance. This is Western heart. Indian heart? Oh, I don't have enough children, I have only 4. No, my husband doesn't love me enough. My charcoal fire is burning and I have always smoke in my eyes. This sort of thought going away. But all of them have same thought in their hearts. What to do? Meditate, do cleaning, purify your heart and make it fit for Him. Somebody once asked, what is this purification and waiting mean? He said, suppose you invite a VIP as your guest for dinner. You start cleaning the house right from the morning, big man is coming. You change the curtains, you change the tablecloth, you take the dust off your chairs, you dust the cushions, and at 7 o'clock you lay the table with your finest cutlery and crockery, new napery, and you wait. So we clean and wait, because coming is at his pleasure. You see, this is the idea of hospitality in India. I may give a time, but the guest is at his liberty to come when he can, when he will. He may not come at all. There comes the famous story of Lord Krishna, I think, who promised to come to the rishis at midnight for dinner. And there they were, bathed in the Ganga, all pure as water, the driven snow, as they say in West, and food prepared with the holy atmosphere, with chanting of mantras, everything ready. Lord Krishna waited. At midnight, a wild boar wandered into the tent, our hut where they were to eat. And the boar is supposed to be unclean in the Hindu tradition, They took sticks and beat it. And everybody felt a blow on their backs with the stick. Then they realized, after the boar had run away, Lord Krishna had come. And then he chastised them. He said, you only look at the form. You are all rishis. Mamma mia, he didn't say because I speak in Italian. You are all rishis, highest in the land. And you don't recognize the Lord because he comes as a pig. Don't you know that I can assume any form that I like? And they felt ashamed. If this is the state of the rishis, what must be our state? If today Krishna was to come with this, silk and his garland and his peacock feathers adorning his golden crown, we'll say he must be some actor, they must be shooting a movie. And everybody will go there and, who's this actor? I've never seen him before. Must be N.T. Ram Rao, yaar. But N.T. Ram Rao died 10 years back, yaar. Must be some new find. Sir, who's that actor? Oh, he's Lord Krishna. Yeah, I know, he's playing the part of Krishna, but who is he? The only answer can be, it is divinity itself. Now playing the part of Krishna, you are right. Because he has no form, no name, no attributes. But that would fall on deaf ears, and they will say, this fellow is bad. So this is the problem with the modern world. That if God were to come today, if Abraham Lincoln suddenly appeared on the streets of New York, he would be arrested for impersonation. Surely. And if Christ were to be found in Jerusalem, they would crucify him all over again. So what do you mean? We had one and he is dead. The apostles said it. They did not believe. When he was risen from that after 3 days, nobody believed. One man wanted to touch and feel Christ. You see? Immediately after he passed away, not centuries after he passed away. If today he was to appear, not only the Romans, the Jews would stone him all over again. This is the fate of divinity in the hands of humanity, and this is the fate of humanity in the hands of humanity itself, and this is the fate of animals, birds, everything in creation at the hands of humanity all over again. So in the human presence, especially in the modern world, divine suffers, humans suffer, birds and beasts and fishes of the sea suffer, everything suffers, because every human being is a rapist. If you put in $1 into nature, you take out $1 million in the shape of paper, in the shape of timber for your houses. To have a nice dinner, you kill a whole deer and eat 1 kilo of that lovely venison. And in the African elephants, to preserve elephants, you cull off every year so many elephants, shoot them down. And the poacher says, if you can do it, you are culling them, they have a right to live. I am doing it for profit. See, culling elephants, culling whales, We know what is good for the whales. We are human beings. And God said, I give you dominance over the earth. Go forth and multiply. The Judaic God. So we are doing it with a vengeance. There are laws to protect. Japan flagrantly violates the laws pertaining to whales. WHALES, not WLES. The British violated for something else. The Norwegians violated for something else. So everyone is a violator, maybe of a different law all the time, because there are so many laws to violate. What started as the 10 commandments of Moses is today 10 million commandments of man. You shall not cross the boundary into my country. But Lord didn't create, we created it. My government created it. Ich habe gesagt. I have said.
Yes.
So let it be said, so let it be written. You see how we have taken over God's functions progressively on earth and made God recede more and more until finally he was crucified and buried so that he shall rise no more. This is the tragedy of religion. This is the tragedy of humans practicing a religion. And when will this tragedy be overcome, if at all, permanently? Spirituality must come in its place. People must meditate. People must understand the truth with their hearts, not listen to it with their ears and misunderstand it with their intellect. Thou shalt not kill. Oh, it only means you shall not kill human beings. You can kill elephants, tigers, lions, anything you like, not human beings. But if it suits you, you can kill your brother. You can kill your father who is occupying the throne so that you may come to the throne earlier. You can kill your son so that he doesn't compete for the throne while he's still 18. This has happened in many cultures. Father killing son, son killing father. Because we interpret the law to suit our desires, to suit our wishes, to help us to achieve our aspiration. Spirituality says you have nothing, you have no desires, you are not supposed to have desires. You are supposed to have an aspiration. Aspiration is for growth, desire is for accumulation. You grow, the law says yes. Like Portia said, the law permits it, the court awards it, the divine court. Yes, grow, my son, grow beyond all limit, but there is no limit to growth. In economics, there's a book called Limits to Growth, not under the divine law. There are no limits to growth. Grow all you can, but will there be space? My son, we are not talking of the physical world. Because here, if you were another 4 million population on earth, you would be pushing each other into the sea. We are talking of the spiritual realm. The realm of the divine, where there's no space, there's no time, where Einstein's law is there, of infinity. Bring in infinite more souls, well, the others will move back to an infinite number of places, and you have place all over again for another infinite number of souls. You see? So that is all I have to say this morning. If anyone you want to ask some questions, I am free.
You can take a,
Before you ask questions,
yes, Master.
Babuji had a set rule which he gave to the first Europeans who came way back in 72, 73, you know. He said, ask only those questions which are relevant to your spiritual practice, which are vital to your spiritual existence, and which you must know, not things which you wish to know. And he gave us an example, a silly question as he called it, does God exist?
To follow that, then also I feel that as a preamble I should introduce who this fellow is sitting here appearing with Chariji. He is my master, I will say, as a matter of journalistic integrity and to expose my own bias. I am an Avyasi and a preceptor of Sri Ramchandra Mission. My name is Clark. I'm from America. And first I would like to ask Master permission to ask you anything.
In violation of